Man, welcome to another episode of Bills United podcast, man. You know, it's your boy KI, man. I got my partner right here on the other side, man. HB, man. Hey, man, how you doing, brother? How you feeling today?
Hey man, I'm feeling good. Better than yesterday, brother. How was your weekend? How was your weekend?
Hey, man, I can't lie, man. It was pretty good. You know, today I woke up, man. Got on the bike, did a good 5 miles, man. So, I feel a little producer. I mean, like productive, man. I feel like I did my little thing this morning, bro.
Good. That's good. That's good.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth, man.
Yes, sir.
But nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, let's just get into it, bro. Overall, man, like, what was your overall of OTAs, man? What's your takeaways?
Our defense looks different. Our defense looks different, and it looks a little more juiced than previous years. I think that the number one takeaway that I took from it was our defensive line. Our defensive line looks massive, and it's probably one of the biggest talks of OTA so far, outside of the whole James Cook deal. Defensive line looks like it has so much depth now, so much more juice. It definitely showed its true colors day one. Josh did add a little bit, saying that it was a little different seeing the defensive lineman be so tall up front. And there is an adjustment to be made. There is an adjustment to be made when all of your linemen pretty much were like Ed Oliver size, AJ Epinesa size. Now you got guys like D.R. Walker coming up the middle. You got Sanders coming up the middle. And then you add that compliment to having Ed Oliver come from underneath those guys and coming in for the quarterback. So I just think that was probably one of my biggest takeaways. I saw the combinations that they were doing on defense with Milano, Ed Oliver, and Deion Walker. Just as far as doing stunts and twists with bag drills, and it looks scary. It looks scary for other teams, but it's exciting for us. So I think that that's probably one of the biggest things I took from camp so far. Another thing, Jackson Hawes. This guy went 7 for 7. He went 7 for 7 in receiving drills, and this guy's not known for his hands. So I just think that it's one of those underrated picks that we got. I did tell you off screen that I think that it was more of a future pick to maybe adjust from Reggie Gilliam at some part in the future. We did re-sign him already, but Hawes is pretty much on a rookie deal. So when you have a guy like Jackson Hawes no more for his blocking, you could utilize him on more plays than you probably utilize Gilliam on the offensive side. So I'm excited to see him as far as the future is concerned. Caden Prather. Caden Prather is another guy that I really liked. The reason why is because we were thirsting for a receiver. So when we got Caden Prather in the 7th, everybody was like, oh, now we want to get a receiver. Okay. But we filled up everywhere else that we needed. And Caden Prather's been making a lot of noise so far in OTAs. I think that he's one of those guys that people inside camp are saying he's going to make this team. And I looked at you and I told you that, and you were like, how's he going to make this team? Like, There's too many receivers. So we're going to break it down for you. But before we do, what did you take away from OTAs so far?
Well, I actually want to add on to what you had said about the defense perspective, right? So as we know, usually when it comes to the Bills, our offense always outshine our defense during OTAs and training camp. So the fact that our offense actually struggle against OTAs, that shows a great sign for what we have to come this year on defense. And like Josh Allen said, like, well, we haven't seen these many big men. Like all our players made Ed Oliver look small. Even though he already small, but the fact that we got players that's almost double his size or look double his size on the field is a plus. So I'm excited for our defense and even our draft picks. Our second strings, everybody looks good. Everybody look like they came prepared. They came in shape. They came fit. So honestly, that's one of the biggest things I took away as well is that our defense, they're going to be stacked this year. They're going to lay the lumber. So hopefully we can stay healthy. Something else I took away is that our quarterback room is pretty bad. I know everybody want to talk about Josh Allen. I know everybody want to say like, oh, he throwing interceptions, but he just came back from his honeymoon. He just came back from drinking his little beers, enjoying himself. So know what? I expected that. He ain't gonna be like that during the regular season. No, it's just OTAs, nothing too serious. But Mitch Trubisky, what's his name? Shane. I can't pronounce his last.
Oh, Shane Buechele.
Yeah, Buechele. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, man. We look terrible. I think we should definitely invest in a second string quarterback before the season starts. I think that should be a good thing, or that we should go about that. What else? Also, I want to talk about one specific player. one Pacific player, right? And this player, I've been a big advocate since we drafted him. Our boy Landon Jackson. Oh, we're hearing a whole lot of things about Landon Jackson. And then not only that, even Sean McDermott came out and say, even Shane, Bobby Babbage, he came out and said, we have not seen his full potential because when he was playing in college, they did not utilize him the way that they were supposed to. Yeah. They put that man in a box. In the way that the Bills are using him and putting him in different situations that he haven't been in the way that he is thriving through all these different packages, through all these different coverages, is a great thing to see. He is going to be a problem. And don't be surprised if he be second in snaps when it comes to being a defensive end. He's that good. So that's one thing I love. I was already big on him when we drafted him, but just hearing how the way that he's producing, the way that he's developing during OTAs is a major kickback that I love to hear.
Yeah, I think Landon Jackson is one of those guys that you see down the line. They see him obviously as a project player. All of us, I mean, all of the rookies are pretty much project players. They don't set any standards to any of the rookies on the team. So I think that he's at the perfect spot where he doesn't need to precisely be the backup, but he could be a third string defensive end and he still is going to get playing time. Like I said, I thought that he was going to be one of those guys that, you know, he's going to be more along the lines of splitting time with AJ Epinesa as the second string defensive end. Right now it's looking like we're going to have, you know, Bosa pretty much until training camp sitting the sidelines. I mean, you saw him. You saw him doing drills on the sidelines, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know that he has a lot of past history pain. I can tell you a little something about sciatic pain. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And sciatic pain is no joke, and that was written on ESPN where he said it's one of the worst pains that he had in his life. And I commend him for having to play through that because you've seen me, and it's not pretty. Sciatic pain is no joke, especially when you're playing with 300-pound guys. You got to be pushing around. It's no joke. So coming off that, there is some residuals after certain procedures that you get done for you for sciatic pain, and one of them is calf pain. And he's dealing with calf pain. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you that that's probably why he's dealing with calf pain. But all the lower extremity issues that he's having might be because of the past procedures he's had before. So those things take time, and I think that the Bills are doing the right thing and not rushing them into drills. So I think that there is some side to it. I mean, when you have a guy as talented as Joey Bosa, you don't need to pressure him into doing a ton of reps. It's kind of how we had, you know, Von Miller when we first started. He was on more of a pitch count, but when we were there, we had him for situational drills. So the third down is his first year. He almost had 10 sacks before he got hurt, and that was like mid-season. So if he wouldn't have got hurt till then, he probably would have been the player to have 10-plus sacks that year. Sure. So I just think that if you use Joey Bosa in spurts this year, I think it would help him down the road. But having Epinesa and Jackson, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any better.
And also, man, can we give a kudos to the medical team, man? Because you know, I was on their heels for the longest. They got these guys wrapped up in bubble wrap. This is what we needed. Oh yeah, this is what we needed, bro. And it's like, for me, the way that I dogged them last year, I have to get them their respect, man. I like the way that they're going about it. Even if it's a little injury, take them out. Just take them out. You know, it's not even severe. But you know what? OTAs, there's no pads. These guys just run around with full potential. All they talent is showing. Just let them do their little thing, man. If they hurt, I don't care if they finger got jammed. Keep them out. You know what I mean? And so I actually like the way that they approach in that situation. Mm-hmm. But also, too, we have a lot of comments coming in. So I'm going to get to the comments before we transition to the next segment because I have a question for you. Yeah. So all through our OTAs, you know, we heard about Cole Bishop, you know, his minor injury. We heard about Taylor Rapp. We heard about Derek Forrest, but we haven't heard anything about Damar Hamlin, or at least that I haven't. So do you think that could be a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, just like we said earlier, you know, it's OTAs, so there's really not much really to presume as far as that's concerned. Like when it comes to injuries and why they're not playing, there's certain players. I mean, guys like Damar Hamlin, I wouldn't even I'd have him on the pitch count after that scare that he had a couple years back. So regardless of how he's feeling, like I would put him on a pitch count just for health reasons. I presume that he's going to be the starting safety, just by looking at how the landscape of our position is. I mean, Derek Forrest, like I predicted he was going to be basically the next guy in the machine that we have going on, the next Taylor Rapp, as you know, as they say, or Jordan Poyer, those type of guys where you bring them in and they might not be the flashiest guys, but you bring them in on a 1-year deal. They learn the system. You re-sign them. You don't got to draft somebody, and they're fairly young. These guys are fairly young. So you're never going to run out of depth at that position. I didn't see much from that position, so there's not much to say. I mean, Cole Bishop was working on the sidelines. DeMar Hamlin barely did anything. And then Derek Forrest had an interception on Josh. So that's one thing. I believe it was a tip. I think it was a tip or overthrow. I just think that we haven't really heard much from that position. It's still a void we have to fill for on a consistency level. We do know that DeMar Hamlin was one of our lead tacklers last year. But you don't want your safety being one of your lead tacklers. So you want the guys, the front seven, to be your guys tackling, So precisely your linebackers, you want them leading the team in tackles. So when it comes to the safety position, I didn't really take much from it. We'll have to wait until training camp to see if we add any depth.
Okay, now most definitely. No, check this out, right? So we're gonna go through a few comments, man. Hey, man, shout out to my guy Joey Hatch.
Mr. Consistency, man. Love my man Joey.
God.
Man.
Hold on, we got Brendan. We got Brandon. Which I got Josh for. Hey, listen, man. For Father's Day, man, you know what I did, man? I like his wedding pictures. You know what I mean? I like his family pictures. You know what I mean? So that's what.
It better not get to his head. That's all I got to say.
What's going on, John Robert, man? I want to see Javon Solomon play.
Now,
yes, sir.
Now, Javon Solomon is an interesting piece because he's probably one of the most dynamic defensive ends we have. I think he's more one of those guys that he has to have his engine running. Seeing him play, he is a pass rush specialist, but he also can get down there and stop the run too. But Greg Rousseau's taking that spot right now. So how do we get him involved? I think that you get him involved more by having him on third and long plays on certain snaps. But Groot's so hard to get off the field, man. It's so hard to get off the field. If Javon Solomon had a little more, to add as far as, playing like a 3-tech or a 1-tech inside, he's just not that big. I would love to see him play too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to see him play. I think that he has a lot more to offer than Epinesa at this time in his career. We already know what Epinesa is, more of a depth defensive end at this point. But I think that Javon Solomon could be one of those pieces too that we don't put a lot of stock into. But I think he's a victim of the rotational defensive front in Buffalo. If he were to have more snaps, he'd be better.
I'm gonna give the perfect analogy of Solomon. He is the Shavers of our defense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like when Shavers came into play, he showed out. He had that big run against the Jets. Usually when Solomon come on and play, he looks really good. I don't really remember him ever coming out and he looked it pretty bad. So I think, like you said, I think he is a victim of the rotation. But no, that's a good thing. So that shows how good we are at certain positions. So I mean, I take that as a good thing, but I definitely think he's a sleeper. And hopefully he do get to see the field because we would definitely benefit from it a lot more. Groot could get a lot more rest and we won't be missing out on many steps on the field. So hopefully he can this year. This is your guy right here. You talked to me about him earlier from Joey Hatch. Sean McDermott was talking about the new linebacker we got, Shaq. That's your guy, man.
So quite some time ago, I think on this podcast, we were talking about getting depth at linebacker, and I said, man, why don't we just get Shaq Thompson? It's just a matter of time until he comes. The Panthers, I'm gonna be just quite frank with you, they were so bad that I didn't even know Shaq Thompson got hurt. So when he got hurt, I'm like, oh, we got him off a deal. So now I know that we can get him basically for free, and this is the best spot for him. I mean, he's already played for the Panthers before, or for Sean McDermott before. They already know what the system. He already knows what the system is. Sorry, and I just think that he provides a little more of a Trey White type of mentorship at this point. He's 31 years old, been in the league a decade already. Has played with great players, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, the whole nine over there in Carolina. I just think that right now he's more of a depth linebacker, precisely more for the inside, and that's what we needed. So I think he should be, in due time, the second guy behind Bernard. And I know that it's debatable because you got Buffalo Joe, you got him inside, and he's dynamic. I get it. But I would rather keep him in the oven a little longer. I don't want him to be put out there and then have him, flop or something. And next thing you know, God forbid, he's like a Bale Inspector on this team. I don't see that happening. But one of those guys that you put out there because you're desperate at linebacker, and then next thing you know, he's a dud because he just looks a certain way out there. I don't see it. I don't see that happening. But I just think that it would go Bernard, Shaq Thompson once he's up and running. And we'll see in camp, too, because it's going to be a competition between Joe and Shaq Thompson for real at that backup spot. And then it'll be Joe Andreessen. So, but a lot of high hopes for your guy, though. Heard he got a pick this week, this past week. So,
hey, listen, I disagree with him. I think Shaq, was it Thompson? Lawson?
Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, so Shaq Thompson. I think he's gonna be third string because Joe Andreessen been showing out through OTA'S. He looks really good. But not only that, he's younger. And Shaq Thompson, he just came off of a pretty bad injury. So he's going to be bubble wrap. We definitely going to take him slowly into our defense, even though he's familiar with Sean McDermott, because Sean McDermott actually drafted him when he was over there at the Panthers. So I think we're going to baby step him slowly but surely to we know that he's fully healthy. But I do think Joe Andreessen will be the second. But I feel I honestly think it depends on the packages and our defensive scheme. So I do see him playing, but not as much. I think he's like a backup plan when if things actually go really bad. Just like I got AJ Klein off the couch. So that's how I look at him. Even though he's a higher caliber player, but that's how I look at it.
I would love to see Joe Andreessen play more against the run in this preseason coming up. What we saw when he faced the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had 10 plus tackles. That was impressive. So I think that what would set them apart, it'd be how they play versus the run. Now, Shaq Thompson is a veteran, and a lot of us have seen how Sean McDermott likes to place his depth on a team. I just think that seniority rules for him, and if you already know what you're doing out there, I'd rather put the guy that has the seniority and knows what he's doing out there for sure, and has seen a lot more ball. I would have a guy out there to see more ball like Shaq Thompson more than Joe Andreessen. So I just think that from that coaching standpoint, I just think that that's what he would go for. So,
and I would say that's definitely a fair take. But you know what? The season around the corner, we're gonna have to see where Sean McDermott's head is at.
Yeah,
I feel like either path he takes, I think we're gonna be all set when it comes to our second stringer.
Mm-hmm.
But now I would like to transition, right? So, what did you take from Maxwell Hairston Injury, and who will step up in his place in case? Who do you think will step up?
You know what, man? I think it's going to be Dorian Strong. I heard a lot of good stuff from him out of camp, man. I know that Jordan Hancock, I know that he's going to be one of those guys. But we got him more for the slot. I know that he flexes a little bit, plays a little safety here and there too. But so does Strong. I think that D Strong is probably one of the tightest guys in that locker room right now as far as rookies is concerned with Maxwell Hairston. And I just saw him from day one, and he reminds me so much of how Christian Benford was when he first came to the Bills. I think that when Christian Benford being a late round draft pick like D Strong, I just think that if they take him in that CB2 spot, I think that he's going to be fine. He's played a lot of meaningful ball at Virginia Tech. No matter what the level is, he played high level games too. He's reliable. He started all his years there. I think that D Strong will be one of those guys that'll take the reps. Don't get me wrong. I predict. I told you that I think Trey White's going to start. I'm just going to be out flat live telling you this. I think that Trey White will start. Maxwell Hairston will be put in there here and there. It's not ever a good sign when you get injured early, but I'd rather have it now than later. And it wasn't something where it was catastrophic or anything. It was one of those precautionary. I tweaked something, so let's put a sleeve on it. He had a compression sleeve on his leg. He did still all the drills. I love the way that Bernard is talking about him. He's made a lot of good plays while he's been here. A lot of people also said that he's gotten dusted on a couple plays. So it's going to happen. It's the NFL. He's got the speed to recover. He's got the dog in him in order to play. And I just think he has the mentality to grow, even though he makes some mistakes. So I have a lot of good insight in him, a good feeling about him. But I think that Dorian Strong will be the one if something were to happen. I think D Strong is the one that's going to take that.
See, I actually like that, right? Because I think every single point that you made was very valid, right? And the reason why I said that, because at first I thought it was Jordan Hancock. But to me, I feel like he will replace a Teron Johnson. Like you said, he's one of them cornerbacks instead of like an outside cornerback.
Yes.
But not only that, I do have to give you your flowers, because you did say Trey White will start. And I think due to this, like, even though it's not a major injury, I think Trey White will start this year as well. Mm-hmm. So I have to give you that, because I was combating you for a while about that.
Yeah.
But nah, so
before we get to the next thing real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to one of the underrated guys that we always have in camp. And he's been balling so far too at CB, and that's Corey Couch. I know that you don't know who Corey Couch is, so I'm going to put you on.
I don't know who that is. I have no idea.
Corey Couch was on the team last year, all right? And he was one of those last depth chart type of guys. He plays good ball too. Now, I feel like it's going to be tough to make this roster, this 53. I hope to God they keep Corey Couch, at least at practice squad. We need depth everywhere, especially to make a Super Bowl run. And if something were to happen, at least you have a guy like a Corey Couch that could come in and play. At least I know that he will be playing better than Kyer. I know that for sure. You could look at the tape, and Corey Couch is nice. So you got him, you got Hardy still out there underwards, but I think that Corey Couch need to get his flowers, because he's been balling to this OTA'S as well. That's all I gotta say.
Hey man, shout out to Corey Couch, man. Shout out to you, big dog. As you can see, we got plans for you, man. We hope to see you on the 53-man roster, if not practice squad, but hopefully we get to see you. But back to what I was saying though, like even like I do think it's gonna be Dorian Strong, because they say that Dorian Strong and Maxwell Hairston, that pretty much they caliber of player are pretty much the same, except for Maxwell have more explosiveness. He faster, and he have more. He's better with his hips. But they said with Dorian Strong that he's an IQ player. He's a very smart cornerback, and that's what we need. That's what we need, is a very smart cornerback. So I definitely agree with you on that. I think he's better than what we expect him to be, and I think he could be another form of Trey White from what they're talking about. He's pretty locked down, and I'm actually surprised. I'm like, he's a lockdown corner, and he got drafted that late. Yeah, he's that good, y'all. So I think he will step up, and even with, like you said, with Maxwell, I think he's actually learning the system the slowest, even though he played more zone than Dorian Strong. I mean, at least according to sources that Keon Coleman had him spinning in circles and stuff. But like you said, it happens. He's adapting to the NFL speed. So don't take that as that's a bad thing. Let the man learn. He's young. He's a kid. So it's gonna take time. But I definitely think it's gonna be Dorian Strong that's gonna step up as well.
For sure.
But now hold on. Before we get to this, because I know, I slandered this man. I didn't end his career on this podcast. And he brought it back. He brought it back to me.
All right.
I can wait. All right, listen, man. Can Matt Milano possibly get signed again if he has a breakout season?
I believe that there is a chance. There's always a chance with the Bills. The Bills love to take care of their own people. And Matt Milano, this OTA'S, I mean, they're looking at him and they're saying that he's dialed in. So this guy looks yoked up, doesn't have any braces on, looks like he's back to it. And I think that at the end of the day, he's going to be one of those guys that we have to put on the blimp to, all right, can we re-sign him? But the thing is Dorian Williams ready? Is Dorian Williams ready for that? Because he's the guy that's going to be graduating, So I just think coming in year 3, where you got to put it all together, and you got Matt Milano that looks like he's on a prove-it deal type of deal. And I think that there is a possibility. I'm only gonna put the caveat on it. Is Dorian Williams ready to take that responsibility of being the starter forward? I think Dorian's gonna have to find his way on the field. It's gonna be hard because Milano's the guy you must have on the field, especially if he's dialed in, looking like the Matt Milano of old. There is no competition. There is no competition. Matt Milano's flat out better than Dorian Williams when he's on time.
He is.
But there are certain attributes. There are certain attributes that Dorian Williams has. If he were to put it together, run gap integrity, being able to be like durable on the field, he has that. But is he going to be able to display it on his team if Matt Milano stays here? And if he's dialed in, there is no competition. So you just have two good linebackers. So he'll play special teams. Dorian will play special teams like he did last season. But is it something that he wants to continue to do? You know, there's always getting a check, but there's also, I want to be at there with the 11 playing linebacker. So yeah, I just think is Dorian Williams ready? So that's my deal.
So I have a few takes on this, right? Yeah. And I agree with you because like even with Sean McDermott in a press conference a few weeks ago, he said with Matt Milano, because they asked about his contract, was he going to be gone? And Sean McDermott has stated like we're gonna take this week by week. I mean, season by season. So if he produce, we probably give him another 1 year due to his injury history, right? So according to what he's saying, if Matt Milano do come back as if 80% of what he was prior to his injury, I believe that he could get resigned. But also too, like you said, it really does fall down to Dorian Williams' growth, his development. And one thing about Matt Milano that Dorian Williams is not. He's not a hybrid linebacker. And when I say hybrid linebacker, he could stuff the run. And not only that, he could do coverage. Dorian Williams is not a coverage linebacker. He's pretty much the next generation of a Tremaine Edmonds. That's pretty much what he is. He's another Tremaine Edmonds that we have. So he's good at running, but if you notice, he good at tackling, at stopping the run, but he overcommits when it's a play action. And that will leave the middle open on multiple plays. And it's like he would have to develop that instinct, the IQ of knowing and not just over driving straight to the ball when the ball is snapped without actually knowing what's going on. So if he could develop that and be better in pass coverage, I could see if he develop it, I could see Matt Milano being gone and the Bills saving up money to bring in more role players. But if he does not develop at that rate, I could see Matt Milano being resigned if you have a good season.
Okay. I mean, just to note, Matt Milano at the start of the season is going to be 31 years old. He's going to be 31 years old. He looks dialed in, so I hope that dialed into them means Pro Bowl, Super Bowl ready, playoff ready Matt Milano. I just hope that he can become a little more consistent with the run defense, because he's one of those guys too that when this run defense going on, he's one of those guys that gets swallowed up pretty easily. And he's one of the worst tacklers. He's one of the worst tacklers in the league. Yeah, man. He misses more tackles than he makes statistically. And it's one of those deals. It's one of those deals where do you want to commit to that for another, say, 2 years or so? When you're another 2 years or so, when you're out here, trying to win a Super Bowl and be consistent. So it's gonna be some time to tell, but training camp will definitely tell.
And I'm about to say, man, I can't wait to training camp because that's when we're really gonna see everything. We're gonna see our receiver lines. I mean, our offense out there versus our defense. Like this year, hey, I'm gonna just put it out there, man. This is gonna be the most explosive defense we had under Sean McDermott. Y'all been asking, we've been begging for this man to come through. He came through. There's no excuses. There's no more excuses now. We got to get it done. Mm-hmm. And when training camp come, I got some predictions because I have some play. I ain't gonna tell y'all now, but I have some players who will start over certain plays that y'all will not expect. So wait until training camp. I'm gonna let y'all know all my predictions. But hey, man, before we close the show, if y'all have any comments, man, post them right now, and we about to go through some comments. All right. So what you got? What you got for me? What you got for me? And we've been saying this, Joey Hatch. We've been saying this. Josh Allen is getting older. How long do you think Josh Allen can play the way that he's playing? Because they are wasting the best generational talent to ever play in the NFL. See, honestly, I don't think we wasted his talent. Not, I used to think that, but I think we actually put the right pieces around Josh Allen. I just think it comes down to our defense because offensively, we always been good. It's our defense that don't show up. Josh Allen and our offense show up almost every playoff game outside of the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals game.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we didn't lose because of offense. We lost because we couldn't stop a nosebleed with the Kansas City Chiefs. We couldn't stop them for nothing. So honestly, I think we're actually doing right by Josh Allen. We are failing. Our defense is failing him. Our defense is failing offense. That's why Sean McDermott always say complimentary football. And somehow we just can't get it right. And I feel like this year we will, but we will see when the time comes. You have anything to put in on that, big dog?
Yeah, I kind of got to piggyback off of that. So I don't really think that we're wasting his talent. I mean, that's a good point. We've literally centered him around dogs. You know, you had Stephon Diggs, you had Cole Beasley, and we didn't have much money in anything. We still had John Brown. You know, we still added pieces around him. We added Emmanuel Sanders, and we drafted Gabe Davis. He looked good for a little bit, and then he got injured, and the rest is history. I mean, there's pieces that we surrounded him around. You know, it's been the defense. It's been play calling. I mean, this AFC Championship game has been play calling. I mean, you don't run the ball with James Cook until the second half effectively. I don't think we're wasting his talent, but I want to answer more. How long can he play? So I think that with his arm talent and his decision making improving over the years, I think that he can play well into his 30s. But he won't be able to be the prime Josh that we're seeing right now. I think that he'll have to adjust his game a little, but not too much. I mean, you saw Ben Roethlisberger do it all this time, and he found it hard to retire. He still found his team to go into the playoffs when he was under the helm. So I don't want to push him into Roethlisberger territory where you could barely throw the ball at that stage of your career. But I think that if they keep centering themselves with good talent at receiver, I think that he still has some time. 3 years of prime legs he has left. 3 years. And that is from September to December. If he could preserve those legs and then turn into Ultra Josh in the playoffs, then we can do that. We got James Cook, we got Ray Davis, got Ty Johnson. You know, we got the other guys, you know, Darrington Evans and Frank Gore Jr., but I'm not going to add them into that mix quite yet. But you have the requisite pieces in order to get him through so he doesn't have to kill himself making it to the playoffs. So if you preserve that, you have good 3 years of prime Josh Allen through the season. And then after that, he's going to have to play more of a passing, you know, set more like 80-20 as far as passing and running ability. He's going to have to pass that ball more than likely. And at that point, you got to switch. Everything has to switch. The coordinating has to switch. Everything. It's all got to switch. Because you have to adjust. What Buffalo has done the best is adjust to Josh Allen. Not Josh Allen adjusting to Buffalo.
Agree.
We have literally centered pieces around him and have extracted pieces that have hurt him. So I think that they're doing the best that they can.
Dorian Strong's father was a professional weightlifter, and they said that he could move to safety possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I actually heard a lot about that. I actually heard that he's actually really good at the strong safety position. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because at the safety position, one thing that we do lack is coverage safeties. I feel like that's one thing that we do lack, and I feel like he will be able to fill in that void if needed. And especially if Trey White and Maxwell Hairston is CB1 and 2 on the left side. So I think I could possibly see him. I could see them messing around on a few packages or a few plays to see how he do out there. I'll be excited to see it. I'm quite sure he's filling that gap pretty well.
I would like to see that in the preseason. Yeah, like on probably pretty early too. I mean, if you're saying probably Hamlin will probably see a couple snaps in the preseason, but you're not gonna see much. I think Cole Beasley will take a good amount of snaps in the preseason. seeing that he's on the second unit still. And I think Derek Forrest is going to be one of those guys who's going to take a lot of reps too, because they want to see how he adjusts to the system. And preseason is probably the best way to get some real hands-on learning. That and the mini camps that they have, or the joint camps they have with other teams, where they could really compete. Dorian Strong, I think that he's going to more focus on corner right now. I think he has the ability to play safety, but I think he's going to be more of the strong safety than free safety coming down the line too. So as far as that's concerned, I'll probably do Strong more than free safety.
Nah, you say you do Strong more than free?
Yeah. Dorian Strong is strong. Like he's real. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's no fluff. He's no fluff. Like
he's built like that.
Yeah, he's strong like that. They said that too. So it is what it is.
Hey man, John Robert, man, Peyton Manning was 31 when he got his first Super Bowl. Exactly, man. You gotta be patient with Josh, man. You have to be patient with the Buffalo Bills. If he passed 32, then this conversation should be brought back up. If he passed 32, definitely. If you don't got no ring, because to me, I think we got Josh until he's 35. He just turned 29, so we got him for another good 5 to 6 years before I think it's over. He gonna lay the cleats up, and that's it. And that's gonna be our generation of greatness for a little while. So I think we're gonna get the job done. If Payne Manning could do it, Josh Allen could definitely do it too.
I need to tell you this though, because we are live, and you did bring up the bad quarterbacks. Do not judge this wide receiver core. Do not judge this wide receiver core, because they were playing with a lot of scout team quarterbacks, and they had windy practices that they couldn't get anything really done at the receiver spot. There was some spots where you could tell that they weren't getting the reps they deserved. So if they looked average to you, then that's fine. But you got to know what you're seeing. You got to know what you're judging. When Josh Allen was throwing the ball, you had Curtis Samuel involved. Elijah Moore looked great in camp. Keon Coleman looked great in camp. But we've heard that story before, so I'm gonna wait out. Jury's still out on that. Shakir had a good and bad practice at times. So I just think that when you judge receivers on that accord, I just think you need to know who's throwing the ball. So don't believe everything you see on the reports as far as the receivers look average and so on and so forth, unless you know who's really throwing the ball. Real quick, just to add on, Dalton Kincaid looked great. Dalton Kincaid looked great. Outside of Jackson Hawes, Dalton Kincaid looked great. Had a couple monster days in practice. I do want to see a little more of Davison at tight end, because now he's competing with Jackson Hawes. So it's one of those things where how are you going to separate yourself from the rest? I know he plays special teams and everything. I would have loved Davison to be here. But I tell you, Jackson Hawes he looked great. He looked great. And he's not known for his hands. And he's got ultimate blocking ability. He loves to block, loves to get dirty out there. So I think that'll be something Buffalo needs, a little more grit. And imagine having to put, instead of Alec Anderson, right, at the sixth offensive line, the blocking tight end, right? It's awesome to see having 6 old linemen block for you instead of 5 and 1 tight end. You could have Jackson Hawes out there playing the 6th tight end spot and having him be able to block and then go out for a pass. That would also add to the game.
And also, I would like to add this, because one thing that y'all know about me, I love Dalton Kincaid. You can't tell me nothing about him. Yeah, he had a bad season last year, but he was hurt. But y'all also, us Bills fans forget that a year before last year, he was a rookie. He broke the rookie receptions and rookie yards when it came to tight ends. Mm-hmm. If he was not hurt last year and him and Josh Allen could get that right chemistry, hopefully to get this year, he must be in the same conversation as Laporta. Mm-hmm. He's that type of caliber tight end. So stop sleeping on Dalton Kincaid because he have not been playing because he's been hurt. That can say the same thing about Curtis Samuel last year. Just please, y'all have to be patient. Josh Allen have the right pieces. We have the right tight ends. We got tight ends that could open up the middle as a Kincaid. You got tight ends that could block as a Jackson Hawk or even a freaking Dawson Knox. We got even Davison. He's a big tight end. We got players. But please, y'all, stop destroying our players. You have to wait to see what they come up to be about, because I'm telling you, we have the talent. We just have to put it together. We have to put it together, bro. So that's all I really have to say about that. But other than that, I have one more comment to bring up. And I think you would like this one because no, I didn't think about it like this, but it definitely give us some leeway from Joey Hatch. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane did not like to get rid of their draft picks. If there is any way they can sign Matt Milano next year, they will. So now, with that being said, we don't like giving away our draft picks, right? So even if we do next year, that will help us save money. But not only that, we also have a Josh Allen who loves to reconstruct his contract for players. He had more than enough money to do it. Even Deion Dawkins said last year he would have reconstructed his contract to bring in the dude from the Browns. I forgot his name that we was drilling about. The defensive end from the Browns.
For the Browns?
But he played us and went back to the Browns for all that money.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, right? So we have players that are willing to reconstruct, so everybody else can eat, so everybody else can stay on the team, so the Bills can resign players. So if there's a will, there's a way. They don't call him Big Baller Bean for no reason. He is the master of contracts. He is the master of finessing. He get the job done. So if we really do want to resign Matt Milano, trust me, there will be no issue. They're going to get the job done. So that's how I see.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, I've said it once, I said it again. Buffalo at this point is just a machine. They're trying to think. They're thinking 3-4 years into the future before we are. They're looking at how they can fill depth at every position because there's going to be a year where not every team thinks that way. They all think, okay, we got to go and take all these picks out, but we got to go get a Matt Stafford. Or we got to go get a Von Miller type of talent, where he's out there. The Brian Burns of the world, the Debos of the world. I don't even know what Debo's on right now. You gotta lose some weight, man. I heard about it.
Man,
yeah, Debo looking wild, man. At tight end, I don't know. I mean, a tight end. see. Hey, it just slipped out of my mind. I'm sorry, bro.
He looked like a whole different person.
I'm sorry. Bro. Yeah, he looks. Yeah. I said tight end. My bad, Debo. Man. Yeah, wide receiver. I said that looking like Algie Crumpler out there, man, with that gut, man. I don't know what's going on. You better lose some weight, man.
ASAP, bro.
That division is no joke. Man. I know you got the Giants and you don't want to be the Washington of the past now. So
no.
yeah, no. But
that's a good one, dog.
Yeah, man. I think that we're gonna be able to. I think we're gonna be able to re-sign him if he does break out. There are incentives to his contract that you also got to put into perspective. Are we gonna play him? Are we gonna play him enough for him to reach those incentives, or are they gonna force him to split time with Dorian Williams? So there's only one way to know if Dorian's ready, and that's for them to play him.
Agreed.
So if there's gonna be a time where we're far into the division, our schedule is like top 5 and easiest schedules, and we're blowing out teams, you put Dorian out there, and then you see how things work out for him. And I could see him getting re-signed for another like 2 years or so, but how much money is he gonna be worth? I mean, past 30, already proven. Get us a ring first, and then we'll have a conversation about re-signing you into the future. Because at that point, if we're not winning with what you have, then we might as well just move on.
Not only get us a ring, stay healthy. Because if you have another injury, you gone. This whole discussion is over with. So as long as he can stay healthy and he can produce enough to get us to where we need to go, he'll be back. But if not, he's gone.
Yeah, most
so
definitely.
It's a thin line. My boy on a hot seat. That's the definition of a hot seat. So. Yeah. But other than that, man, hey, man, thank y'all for tuning in into another episode of Bills United Podcast. Hey, HB, man, I'm going to let you take us away this time, man.
Hey, man, like, share, subscribe, Bills United Podcast. We on X, Bills United Pod. We on Facebook, Bills United Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, the whole 9. Like, share, subscribe. Everybody, God bless everybody that's listening. And for the people that's going to catch on, we're going to keep coming every week. I know there's going to be a little bit of a dry spell coming in, before training camp actually start. But we're going to keep you updated, and we're going to tell you what we think about everything that's going on. So that's all I got for y'all.
And then not only that, man, like you said, man, stay blessed, man. Y'all stay out of trouble. And make sure y'all tune in next week, Monday. next week, Monday, because guess what? We might have a little surprise, man. I think we're gonna have a little fun in here, man. We're gonna have some good segments for y'all. All right.
Hey,
now with that, yep.
One more thing. Shout out to Jay's Pod, Mafia Talk. That was probably that was the most fun I had on a podcast since we started podcasting. I haven't laughed that much since the Lamar Johnson incident. Since we had Lamar Johnson on our show, that was probably the most fun I've had on a pod. So hey man, like, share, subscribe to their channel as well. They plugged in every Wednesday, right? Every Wednesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
So yeah, no, definitely shout outs to them. But yeah, no, that's all I had to say before we got off, man. I appreciated the intakes on them. It was a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie.
It was well needed, man. Just in case y'all didn't go watch the episode, man, go follow my guys on their YouTube channel, Mafia Talk. Follow J Mafia on YouTube under Julian Colo, man. Go tune in, like, comment, and share the video, man. Y'all won't regret it.
Yes,
but
sir.
now, with that being said, man, y'all be safe, man. Go Bills, and we see y'all next week.
We here, big dog. Man, we here, big dog.